50 True Stories of Daring Men and Women of God, Men of God, Brave Heroes and Bold Defenders by Shirley Ray, Redmond, illustrations by Katia Longhe. So we have Eric Liddell. He was a runner in the Olympics in the 40s. On World War II time, he wouldn't run on Sunday, Sabbath day. He believed in resting on the Sabbath. And the movie Chariots of Fire is about him. Chun Sugihara, George Washington Carver. I think he was born a slave, grew up to be a great teacher. David Livingston, Dr. Livingston, I presume. Doctor missionary, I believe, in Africa. Nicky Cruz, Tim Tebow. He was a football star who would kneel, I believe, during football games. Nate Saint, he was a missionary in Ecuador who was killed. Jesse Bushyhead, William Tyndale. I'll have to read these. Bible interpreter, translator, Richard Allen, Father Damien. C.S. Lewis, famous professor at Oxford and writer. Dikembe Mutombo. Jeremy Camp, I think he's a singer. Maybe his wife died of cancer. There's a movie about him. Adoniram Judson. C. Everett Koop, yeah. Surgeon General in the 80s. Francis Schaeffer. I believe he and his wife had a beautiful home that they shared in Switzerland. As Christian intellectuals, they would gather there. John Cadbury, Billy Graham, famous evangelist. Jeremy Lin, Chinese basketball player. John Knox. Don McLean. I don't know who a lot of people that these are. Eric Liddell. George Washington. Dietrich Bonhoeffer. I believe he was killed by the Nazis in Germany. Frederick Douglass, African American. Went as slavery as an adult and intellectual. Hudson Taylor, missionary to China. Edward Jenner. Nobel Qureshi. Sir Isaac Newton, famous scientist. Jim Irwin. John Harper. Chuck Colson. He went to jail for political reasons and became a Christian there. Went to prison and started prison ministry. Jim Elliot also died in Ecuador as a missionary. But the natives he was serving became Christian later on. Martin Luther led the Protestant movement. Andre Thome. Henry Obokaya. William Booth. Alvin York. John Newton, another scientist. Juan Fernando Ortega. William Wilberforce led the anti-slavery movement in England. Richard Wumberland, a martyr in Europe, I believe started Voice of the Martyrs group. George Mueller, Tony Dungy, J.K. Chesterton, philosopher maybe. Intellect, Todd Beamer, believed he died in 9/11. And one of the planes that crashed helped lead it to crash in Pennsylvania. Rest in peace. James A. Garfield, maybe the president. John Perkins, St. Francis of Assisi, maybe he was blessed the animals. I'm not sure. We'll have to read this. Zhang Bo Li and George Washington, first president of the U.S.